everybody. This is Raul from Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of chatting with the incomparable and ever so busy Mr. Nathan East. Now, if you don't know who Nathan is, you must have been under a rock, and you must have not been reading our magazine, because he's been on our cover not once, but twice, 2011, 2014. He's got to be one of the busiest men in the business. I think he's working at trying to catch up with Chuck Rainey. But, you know, there is just nothing that he's not working on. And if you do a look up on Nathan East, you'll get lots and lots and lots of stuff coming from some of the most recent things. The new Cool, it was one of your CDs that I enjoyed and did a review on. And I'm not going to try to talk about the past that much because there's so much to talk about. Nathan has a new project that's coming out, Reverence. We're scooping it on July 20th, 2017 right now when we're recording. Tell us about this project, Nathan.
Wow. Well, first of all, thanks for the introduction. And yes, Chuck Rainey is a hero of mine. I mean, I used to buy anything that he was on. I'd just go to, back when the Tower Records were around, I'd go just looking through the bin, and if Chuck Rainey's name was on a record, boom, I'd buy it, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where now it's great to be able to call him a friend, and like you say, just there's a long way to go before anybody can catch up with Chuck. But he set a bar pretty high, and I'm happy to be releasing my second solo album this year in 2017, you know, and lots of really good music that I feel, you know, that represents the bass and as a solo instrument and a company instrument, which is, you know, so for me, making a record as a bass player is a little bit different, more of a challenge, I think, than it is for like the guitarist or keyboard or, you know, one of the more lead instruments. Mm-hmm. But we got this one done, and I'm very happy with the results.
Excellent. And I know that we've been treated to a little preview, and I don't know, Serpentine Fire.
Yes, I mean, of course, that's by one of my favorite groups of all time, Earth, Wind & Fire, and of course, Verdine White, again, was one of my kind of big inspirations. I'll never forget seeing him playing at the sports arena in my town, and I looked up there, he yanked his shirt off, and he was just playing bass. It was just, I'll never forget it. And it was raw. He had a white bass, you know, so I got a white bass. And I've always revered their music. It touches my heart, you know. So I actually have a couple of Earth, Wind & Fire covers on this record, just especially since Maurice White, you know, made his transition from this life. I wanted to kind of honor him with some music, and that's what this record's about.
Absolutely. Well, Earth, Wind & Fire is one of those iconic group for times, and I think there isn't a single one of us, especially that plays bass, that hasn't been lifting some Earth, Wind & Fire tunes. I remember we had it on 8-track. We had Earth, Wind & Fire's greatest hits, and it was the music to play when we were driving that Volkswagen station wagon back in the day.
Wow.
But I agree. I heard Verdine play up here in Portland, and his lines were so punchy that you could just feel them in your chest. It's right in the middle, and you just kind of going, oh man, it's more than just hearing it. You just really feel it. So I think you really did it justice. I was listening to your take. I'm like, oh yeah, this is on too. You know, this is great.
Well, Verdine is one of those tribal bass players, you know, so his thing is more, I mean, just as important as the notes are, his feel, and it's just kind of like, he just slips and slides. Sometimes you don't even get a note, but you get a feel, you know, and that's what I love about Verdine's playing. You know, it's a big inspiration.
Oh yeah, and the man does not stay still. I tell you, he is constant motion, and he's just playing, and he's all over the place.
I know, and I think he still weighs like 120 pounds, soaking wet. You know, it's amazing, his energy.
There you go. Well, it gives him a chance to enjoy some good food and burn it right off. All of us would like to do that.
Yeah, but definitely really high on the inspiration list, you know.
Gotcha. So tell us more about this release, about Reverence.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of I just have always been love music. I've played all styles. I mean, I'm only feel like there's only two genres of music, and one of them is good music. So I I love the fact that I can kind of do sort of an R&B based track and then do more of a jazz track. We have a little kind of a swingy track that we wrote called "The Mood I'm In," featuring Nikki Yanofsky, beautiful young jazz singer. And then like I tried to just cover as much ground on the bass as possible. So I got again some tunes that feature the bass lead. One song features my son playing beautiful George Shearing arrangement of "Over the Rainbow," and then we orchestrated that. So just kind of like music, straight up music.
Got you. And did you go both upright and electric, or?
Yes, the upright, electric, and fretless on this record.
Nice.
So, yeah, so again, not to use the pun, but trying to cover all the bases.
Totally. Well, and that is a very difficult thing for many bassists to transition back and forth between upright and electric, and not a lot of people do it well. So it's kind of hard.
It's kind of like whether it's going to be played up like this or that way. For me, it's kind of seamless. I play both in concert, especially with our group Foreplay. Mm-hmm. Actually, we have a song written by Chuck Loeb on the record called 11/8. It's an 11/8 time.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm used to odd rhythms and changing basses. That's one of the things that I enjoy.
Absolutely. And were you playing on your Yamaha signature bass for this?
Yes. Yeah, I use that pretty much exclusively when I'm recording.
Gotcha. Although I do see you do have a little bit of gear acquisition syndrome there. So there's some nice wood on the wall.
Oh man, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I had to figure out a place to put some of these basses. I have quite a few, but yeah, it's nice to people send basses, and of course I'm working with Yamaha on development. But yeah, I keep a couple around.
There you go. Well, and it's when you actually when you've got your signature bass. I was talking. This was same conversation with Chuck Rainey, as a matter of fact, because he has a signature bass with Exotic, and one of the things that he was pointing out was he loves it because it's light, and he says I'm not getting any younger, and a light bass is just what I'm looking for.
I tell you what, that makes a lot of sense. And I have my Yamaha TRB 6-string that I take out on the road, and that's a heavy bass. and now at the airports, they have you walking a mile from the plane to the terminal, especially international travel. So it does it gets to be a bit of a backbreaker. I'll have to ask Melvin Davis how he carries like 2 7-strings over his shoulder or something like that. And so you got to be in shape. It's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's one thing when you're 16 or 17, you may not notice it, but
thank you.
You add on a few extra years, and you're starting to go, okay, now this is a little too heavy. I'm going to look for something better. Now, yeah. I see you've got your bass. Tell us a little bit about what you got in your hands here.
So this is my signature bass, but it's the they made 60 of these. It's kind of the 30th anniversary version with Yamaha. So we did a pewter color.
Oh, nice.
And I just love the color, and that's kind of the only difference between this and my normal ones. But they had a limited edition run of these, which all went pretty much the first day. So like I can't even get another one.
Well, the one you got is the one, so that is very sweet.
Yeah, I really love it. It's kind of got the color of a Porsche,
Nice. Yeah. Looks like it's got great balance too. from what I
Yeah,
see.
actually, again, the weight, just like Chuck Rainey was saying, the weight of this is manageable. It's not too heavy, 5 string, and that does end up being an issue if you're going to be standing there for 2-3 hours doing a concert.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that's excellent. Well, Nathan, I know you're a very, very busy guy. I know you've got so much going on. Where would people want to go if they want to, find what's going on, where they can see on tour, where to get your new album?
Yeah, if you go to my website, nathaneast.com, it'll have everything there. And then I actually have another site, nathaneastbass.com, where we do lessons on artistworks.com. Yeah.
Like I said, he is doing everything. I just
Yeah, we're keeping pretty busy, but it's a lot of fun just because I was just telling somebody yesterday, if you love what you do for a living, you'll never work another day in your life, And so this is something I've been doing since I was 14 years old, and I feel just very fortunate at the opportunity to be able to still do this.
absolutely. Well, and I think we are extraordinarily fortunate to have you playing bass for us to enjoy. I was listening to your website. Now, your son plays piano?
Yes, he plays piano, so
Oh yeah.
it's great. It's great to just be able to go to the piano at the house and and play with him.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, again, I appreciate you taking time to chat with us today. And readers, Nathan East, Reverence releases January 20th. But if you don't see that, see any of the many other things, take classes with him, learn bass on ArtistWorks. There's just so much going on. Again, thank you. You've seen this here on Bass Musician Magazine.
Thank you. Thanks, Raul.
Cheers.